Hi folks, it's Otaku Gunso, and ooh, look at that rich, luscious. Okay folks, it's just a pizza, nothing to talk about here. But anyway, looking upon my old one from about 2 years ago, I could pretty much say that's an abomination at this point. I have since gotten better at making pizza, and that's what I'm here to show you today. As you can see, I got my homemade tomato sauce, some broccoli, some butternut squash, and Miyoko's vegan cheese, all featured in this video right now. Stay tuned, folks. Let's go. Oh, we're back again with some lovely pizza dough all stretched out on this lovely little pizza measuring mat thing that I got, which came from Aldi's. And apparently it's actually a better idea to stretch out the pizza dough with olive oil, and a lot easier in this case, than to do it with flour right away. But once I have it all stretched out, then I'm going to transfer it to the glorious pizza board. Remember the pizza board? Say hi, pizza board. Oh, there we go. Then I'm going to put the flour on it, which the flour is already on it to make sure it doesn't stick or anything. And then I'm going to hit it with my lovely tomato sauce, which is actually homemade. And this time it's not all watery, which is good. And ironically, I actually made this a week ago, and I had it in the freezer all this time, and I took it out the other day, and it's still not, all watery, which is good. And this time I just used 3 tomatoes, 2 onions, and maybe like 10 to 15 cloves of garlic because I like it all garlicky. That's just me, honestly. And yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, of course, you hit it with the little Italian seasoning and like basil and stuff. And there's actually a more concentrated form of basil that you can get from Aldi's. It comes in a little tube. Like usually I mix that up in it and then just kind of take that and run with it. And then of course it tastes good. Although I think I did put some nutritional yeast in this, and that might have helped thicken it. I don't remember what I did to get it so thick. But either way, it's not watery, so that's good. Because I know the first time I tried to do this, it was just as watery. It was literally an abomination. I couldn't even take looking at it. And then of course, once you do all that and NutriBlast it, then you could take it, cook it a little bit, and then, like I said, freeze it up and use it whenever you want to. So now that it's all dressed up and ready to go with some toppings, first I'm going to hit it with the seasoning. And like I said, first up is turmeric, because like I said, I'm the weird one who loves marrying together all these different flavors and whatnot to make some pizza. And nobody asked for any of this, but next up we're going to hit it with curry powder, because like I said, we love curry powder around here. It was like, who has a pizza with curry and turmeric on it? That's the question of the year right now. Next up, we're going to hit it with some smoked paprika. We're going to give it a nice savory taste right now. See that smoked paprika? Yeah, let's go. Let's go with the smoked paprika. And cayenne red pepper. Unfortunately, I am so low on it that I don't think that it's going to last me the whole day, unfortunately. But maybe I can try to get some more at some point in time. Or maybe it'll actually last me, I have no idea. Not the way I use it though. But anyway, next up is the chili powder. Because like again, we have to hit it with all the dry ingredients before we can go to the wet ingredients, right? And since I'm working with mostly frozen stuff, a lot of wet ingredients around here. Then we got the nice little pepper crusher, because we love black pepper on stuff, and plus you gotta use black pepper if you want the turmeric to absorb correctly. It's like anything that you do with turmeric, you have to use black pepper with it or else it's not gonna absorb it correctly. And as you can see, I'm very generous with the black pepper, just cranking until I cannot crank anymore. Because that's how we love to get down. But luckily I was able to do that without an issue and not sneeze or anything. Because, black pepper usually makes me sneeze. So now we're going to hit with the butternut squash, but first we're going to cut it up a little bit. And this is actually frozen butternut squash, and it's organic, and you get it from Aldi's. And you just got to let it defrost a little bit, and then try to cut it up smaller with the scissor, and then put it on the pizza like I'm doing right here. Which, I kind of fail at cutting stuff, apparently. Or at least it just seems that way, because, you don't want, like, big chunks and stuff to kind of overwhelm it and whatnot. So that's why I'm like, yeah, let's try to cut it up and stuff. And given the fact that my crust here is kind of thin, you know, like the bigger chunks might kind of weigh it down a little bit. So yeah, we don't want that. But as you can see, I'm going all around the pizza and I'm seasoning the whole thing with butternut squash, which, yeah, we want to make it colorful. And so far we got red, brown, or beige, and orange. Because we're going to go colorful. But unfortunately, I actually kind of ran out of butternut squash at that point, so now I have to open up another one and cut that up, which, yeah, the reason why I ran out of it is because whenever I make pizza, I usually make 3 of them and then just kind of cut them up, put them in freezer bags, and then, you know, use them as I want to. I believe in bulk cooking. I don't know about anybody else, but, I mean, I just cook a lot and then take it out as I want it. Like, usually I make burritos this way, I make pancakes this way, I make pizza this way. I even make chana masala that way, which, like I said, the Instapot is pretty much made to make big items anyway. So, I mean, you can't just make one thing anyway, so that's a thing. But as you can see, it's starting to come along as I'm getting it all around the pizza, all around the edges, and all around this and that. And my hands are cold from handling all that stuff. Honestly. And now I gotta wipe down the scissor because I have to use the scissor again. Because next up, well, the scissor obviously, but next up is broccoli florets, which also organic, non-GMO, love that. Came from Aldi's freezer section, gotta love that. Now the thing I don't like about these broccoli floret things when you get them when they're frozen is the fact that they always have these stalks on them, and the stalks are the most overwhelming thing. Like, you see what I gotta do? I gotta cut the stalks, you know, and just cut the little green part on the top, and then put that on it. Which, again, we're going for the tree part, the fluffy tree part, because remember, broccoli is basically little tree-kun at this point. You know, and everybody loves little tree-kun. And like I said, we're hitting with that green right now. And it's so bright and green. Which, yeah. Love lots of green around here. I mean, usually, if I'm not using that, I usually use kale or spinach or something. Which, kale is pretty good on pizza. But this time I wanted to use broccoli because I use the kale for something else. Although, usually if I'm not using the broccoli like this, where I'm cutting it up on the pizza, then I'll usually use it in some kind of a stir fry with tofu or tempeh or seitan or seitan or I don't know how to pronounce that stuff if I'm even saying it right, but I know one thing, it is not the devil, folks. And if you go into the store and you ask the associate or whatever where the seitan is, they will think that you're talking about the devil. So you have to reassure them and say like, hey man, I'm not talking about the devil, it's wheat gluten. Show me where the wheat gluten is. It's like, don't worry. It's like, don't worry, the wheat gluten is not going to take your soul, I promise. But honestly though, we love having a sense of humor around here. And as you can see, I'm going all the way around with the broccoli right now. And I'm just cutting off all little tree-kun, I'm cutting you up right now. I'm cutting you up, little tree-kun. I have plenty of this left over, it looks like. Or I will have plenty of it left over, so because of that, I'm just gonna have to, you know, put the rest and like cook it maybe with whatever I decide to make on another day, which I don't know what that'll be, maybe tofu or tempeh or whatever. I think it'll be good to mix with kale, honestly, you know, and onion and more garlic and stuff like that. But next up we have the star of the show, which is Miyoko's vegan cheese right now, which, yeah, I have graduated to Miyoko. But to be fair, I've actually kind of known about Miyoko for a really long time because I actually have her cookbook, and I'm terrible about cookbooks when it comes down to anything. So I've only made maybe like a few meals in it actually, and I know like you can make unchicken where you use like tofu and then you get this stuff called the tofu skin, But you have to go to a specialty supermarket to get that. And back home, I did have an Asian supermarket, but down here, nothing like that even exists. So it's like, I can't make tofu skins anymore. Although you don't make tofu skins. Although I think there actually is a recipe how to make tofu skins in her book. I have to look again. I haven't touched that thing in so long. I'm so terrible at cookbooks, honestly, and I actually want to get the John Joseph cookbook thing or whatever, because he's got some quality meals too, actually. So, yeah, should I get another cookbook, or should I just stick with what I have and just kind of sucking at everything at this point? I mean, as you can see, the texture is really, on point, and I'm just kind of having to peel out the residue and finish putting that on the pizza and making it look aesthetically appealing, which, like I said, we want every inch of this stuff on the pizza because it's already looking good. And I mean, whether you're vegan or not, you're looking upon this thing and you already want to eat it. Like, I'm telling you that right now. But now it's ready to go into the oven. Which, yes, my noob self has to use a spatula to help to get it into the oven, onto the pizza stone, from the pizza board, because I am such a noob and literally suck at everything right now. But bye-bye pizza, go into the oven right now at 420 degrees, because we love burning the whole house down at this point. Actually, no. If I went up to 450 degrees, then I would burn the house down. 420 is just fine. But as you can see, it's ready, it's good to cut, and I'm out here cutting with my same old bootleg generic pizza cutter from like 2 years ago, which is kind of dull. I should probably get a new one at this point. But I mean, it still looks cool, so it's like, oh yeah, like things are going pretty well, and I mean, can't argue with that pizza cutter right there. You can't argue with that. But seriously though, I probably should get another one, or at least find a way to sharpen this one, because I'm really, really having trouble trying to cut it right now. But yeah, like I said, this is Vegan Pizza 2.0, and like I said, it looks good, and it looks good for you, it looks good for me, it looks good for everybody, and everyone's gotta want to eat it. Whether they're vegan or not, I'm telling you folks, it's really great. I mean, hey, maybe I can new and improve on something else if I try hard enough. Like I said, I'm the type of person that learns how to cook stuff and then slowly but surely improves it over time to where I don't even have to look at a recipe book anymore. So, yeah, I'm trying to get on that level with all of my stuff, but like anything else, it takes time. And as you can see, my nice little rug over there, the NES controller. How nice. But that's not what I'm here to talk about right now. But yeah, this is Vegan Pizza 2.0. Later, folks.